training program, in essence, aims to empower small businesses in South Africa, specifically to enhance their capacity to identify and recruit digitally skilled youth, and importantly, in an inclusive manner. So when we think about the training, we have to go back to small businesses, or SMMEs, as we refer to them. We know that there are more than 2 million small businesses in South Africa. So no doubt this sector makes for the backbone of the economy. They contribute a significant percentage of the total employment and GDP in the country. So they play a crucial role in employment and in matters like wealth creation and development of innovation. At the same time, they do face a wide range of challenges. When we think about the challenges, some of the immediate ones that we think about are access to finance, infrastructure challenges, issues of compliance, limited market access. But in my view, the main challenge remain the skill shortages, bringing the right skills on board, not only to fill the vacancies that exist, but to play a key part in growing the business and ensuring its sustainability and longevity. So when we talk about small businesses, it's critical that we work to support and develop the sector to address the challenge of their survival rate. When we speak about digital skills specifically, we need to consider that we find ourselves in the fifth industrial revolution post-COVID. So all businesses, and specifically small businesses, are increasingly dependent on technology on the one hand. But then in South Africa, we're grappling with issues such as staggering unemployment numbers, especially amongst our youth, together with the technology talent gap that impact businesses' capability to respond with agility to the fast pace at which technology is advancing. So impacting on the survival, the sustainability of small businesses, specifically then the challenge of bringing the right people on board with the right digital skill, and then importantly to develop and retain them to not only ensure their growth, but the sustainability of the business as well. So when we're talking about bringing people on board in our business, the full process of talent acquisition really is what we're referring to. And we often have HR professionals responsible for such processes. But in small businesses, very likely, the business owner also owns the accountability for these processes. And while both of these groups of professionals, no doubt, hold significant technical expertise, they may find it challenging to bridge the gap between their technical proficiency and the digital skill that they are required to recruit for. So to that end, then, the training program that we offer aims then to enhance the individual competence of HR skills across industries and businesses, but also then enhances the individual value delivered by organizational decision makers in their quest to create sustainable and future forward businesses. The training program is offered over a period of 3 days in workshop formats. The training will be offered online and in person, and registration and participation is free. It covers specifically the recruitment of youth with appropriate digital skills, and important to us in an inclusive manner. So throughout the training on all 3 days, the principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion are very deeply entrenched in the material in response to the unique legislative requirements that we face in our businesses. It covers specifically the recruitment of youth with appropriate digital skill, more depth regarding all elements of communication with relevance for the digital era specifically. So we're looking at elements such as improving the communication process, interviewing skills, writing of a CV, using digital platforms, all with the basis or a sound theoretical basis in communication. So when we talk about bringing people on board in our businesses, so we're referring to the full process of talent acquisition. We often have HR professionals responsible for these processes, but in small businesses, very likely the business owner also owns the accountability for recruitment. And while both of these groups of professionals no doubt hold significant technical expertise, they may find it challenging to bridge the gap between their technical proficiency and the digital skill that they require to recruit for. So to that end, the training aims then to empower small businesses in South Africa, not only to enhance their capacity to recruit the correct digital skill into their business, but also to enhance the individual value that is delivered by these organizational business partners and decision makers in their quest to create sustainable and future forward businesses. So when we talk about small businesses in South Africa, or we refer to them as SMMEs, small, micro, and medium enterprises, we know according to legislation, there are several specific legal and operational criteria to be met in order to be defined and categorized as a small, micro, or medium enterprise. However, if you are a small business and you're employing anywhere from 1 to 200 staff, you can definitely benefit from the program. So what we also need to consider is when we specifically speak about the digital skills that are employed and applied by the small businesses, what are we referring to? And I think it's important to note that digital skills actually encompass such a broad range of abilities and capabilities. And digital skill, in addition, spans industries and businesses. It's not limited to any business format or industry or educational background. On a high level, if we think about proficiency in information technology, in digital literacy, in data analysis or online communication, we are referring to digital skill. And this is something that we are engaging with on an ongoing basis in our daily lives. If we're speaking to each other on a podcast such as this one, and we are reaching audiences across the country, somebody with digital skill made that possible. So I think it's really much more deeply entrenched in our lives than we probably think. But if we talk more specifically, some of the main skills or skill sets are, of course, artificial intelligence that is at the forefront of technological development at the moment. We think about something like ChatGPT that we have all been exposed to and or used. Something like data and cybersecurity, also critical for businesses. With the POPI Act, the vulnerability of our data, security is a major issue to be addressed. And again, not limited to any industry or any specific business format. Something else that we think about, big data and data science, which is all underpinned by data analytics. In other words, if we have a big data, we're analyzing the data, we're looking for that capability to make sense of the analysis, and skills such as these are considered to be high in demand digital skills across industries and across small businesses. Absolutely. When it comes to a business like that, most definitely a small business that can benefit from the program, just on a high level, if we consider the competition in the market amongst businesses such as real estate companies, online marketing comes to mind immediately. What makes us unique? And, they would definitely require skill in putting content together to have a digital presence and a media presence. They want to attract customers in that way. If we go a little bit deeper, they will probably require skill in web development and app development. When we have already spoken about data security and cybersecurity, and I think skill in data security and cybersecurity will be critical for a business such as this, because they're dealing with very sensitive personal information. Other skills that would be required are digital business analysis and digital project management. On a high level, again, the effective use of digital office tools will definitely be critical skills that they would require. The question then is, how do they recruit such skills into the business? And they can definitely benefit from the program in engaging in practical conversation on how to get that right. So we would really like to encourage small businesses to reach out to us and apply to be part of the workshops. So we would really like to, and training is then set to commence mid-February 2024 and to run up to roughly mid-March 2024. Again, we would just like to say that we are keen to engage with small businesses. If they're requiring more information, want to get to know more, to please reach out to us and come to the conversation, be part of the solution. There is an application form to go through. It's not a difficult or a long form. It's really just for us to have proper information around the business, around the industry, and for us to also be able to reach out to businesses in return.